Hi, so I wanted to give you an idea, a little peek inside of our world of how I feed my son. My son is 20 something, but mentally he is 8 to 10 months old. My son was on a peg tube for more than 10 years. However, he started having increased seizures, and then, after the seizures, they become aggressive. So he started ripping out the peg tubes. So my doctor prescribed this supplement, which is called Neocate Jr. Like I said, my son is allergic to everything. He's allergic to citrus, milk, soy, gluten, everything up under the sun he's allergic to. I also I take a full can of this. I take 3 liters of water. I take 3 liters of water. I also mix a full, 16 ounces of rice, gluten-free. And I take a whole can of peaches. And I take 3 liters of filtered water. In my refrigerator, I have a drop filter. But if you don't have it, just get a plain filtered water of whatever you have. We always buy water bottles, but I found that buying the gallons are way more cheaper. So what I do is I make this consistent. It's like a smoothie. I make a smoothie. And pretty much I take the 3 liters of water, the peaches, the cereal, and the Neocate, and I mix it all in a big stock pot. Yep, I got a big stock pot with a big industrial slated spoon. And we mix it. I'm not going to turn on the blender because my son does not like blending noises. So the end result is a really yucky looking smoothie. It's a smoothie. It's a smoothie consistency. I like these Munchkin bottles. However, they're really expensive. They got this little thing at the bottom that stops the air from getting in. And even though my son is grown, he still gets air and it makes him uncomfortable. And when he gets uncomfortable, then that means we have aggression issues. So I don't know if you guys can see how that is. And the Munchkin bottles usually come with this flexible nipple. However, this is not very good for my son, not my child. What I end up finding is we got this Nubby company. I know a lot of people, it's called Nubby. These are soft touch nipples. And this is great for my son. They have these, it's rather thick, and he can drink out of this without getting all that excess air. Now, if you can't afford some of this stuff, that's cool. I found out that Event, their bottles are all right too. I don't know if you guys can see that. See, this is a Nubby. This is a Munchkin with a Nubby nipple. And this is the Event bottle. The Event bottles are okay. The nipples are great. My favorite is, one of my other favorites are the Nubby bottles themselves. This one has a nipple, but it's great for my son. Even though my son, he drinks his milk, I'm just dropping stuff all types of ways today. But even though he drinks his milk, I still encourage him to eat his strained foods. Now, my son can't have any texture foods. But this little stuff, feeding a 20-year-old, it don't work all the time. So I encourage him to eat so he can get a different flavor in foods. But that's not enough to sustain them. Plus, if I did have to give him all of this to sustain him, these things are like $1 and $1.50, and it's way too expensive. Another thing, with that, I get these flat spoons. I get these from Walmart. They had like 4 trays, 4 bowls, 4 cups, a whole set, and it was at Walmart for $5. So if you can't find these, I also get a tablespoon, but it has to be flat. basically, anything that you feed a kid with bite reflexes, because my son has bite reflexes. I didn't tell you guys that. But the bite reflexes mean that you put them in their mouth and they just crunch down and crunch down. But these are awesome and amazing. It's hard when you have a flatware, but long as it's flat, you just make sure you don't bother their teeth. Well, all parents usually do that anyway, but these, if somebody else is watching, hopefully that helps. My son, if you guys babies are younger, then always get the flat spoons. Like this is a Nook spoon, this is a Munchkin spoon, but usually flat spoons work pretty well. With my son, he has pica. Like I say, he always crunching down. He's always biting on something. He will bite on buckles. He will bite on shoes. He will bite on everything. So I did find that these nubby, he likes the nubby teething rings. He also likes other teething rings that's a little bit denser too, a little bit harder. But these usually help in between, feeding him, and he wants to bite. If he bites while he's eating with a spoon, and he just got to get that little bite urge out, like you have an itch, and you be like, ooh, you got to get that bite urge out. I usually be like, here, Vern, take this and, bite this for a minute so I can go ahead and continue feeding. Basically, it's a short segment. I wanted to show you guys how I feed them. Oh, I forgot. I wanted to also show you guys about crushing medications. I found this at the food store for like $2.99, and it looks like one of those things for crushing, pills. A lot of times when your kids are over a certain age, they give them pills because they be like, you got to put in a formulary request so they can get solutions. But basically, they don't want to pay for a lot of solution because it takes a lot of over-the-counter products to make or whatever. So they insurances are crazy and they're wrong sometimes. But in order to crush your pills, this was $2.99. So you guys can get that. And usually these have grooves in it. What it is, it's a herb. It's not herb. It's a spice crusher. Some of them have grooves. Some of them don't. Mine don't have grooves, which is awesome. But if yours do have grooves, I'm not going to tell you. These look real familiar, don't they? I'm not going to tell you where I got it from. But you can get one of these or you can get a spoon. And you take this little thing. These things are awesome. And it takes literally 1 second to take it and squish it around. And your pills are crushed. So hopefully this can help somebody. I know I'm not the only one who has an infant, an adult infant. So if you guys have any more questions, just give me an email about that too, or send me a message or something. But thanks for watching. Stay tuned.